Hey guys, so if you don't know, Crucible League is ending in 65 days. Yes, there's still 65 days left. But Diablo 4 is around like in 2 days, so this may be my last build of the Crucible League. Maybe not, we'll see. This is sort of like maybe a last build of the league. It is Soul Eater using the Soulthirst belt, using the self-course temp chain, using the flash duration, and extending the Soul Eater duration for as long as possible, and using Winter Orb. This build, as I would call it, it's not really for clean speed, it's not really for bossing, it's for fun. It can do both things really well, but it's squish. It has like zero defenses pretty much. I do have like evasion, and that's pretty much it. And I would probably say this is more of an advanced build. The playstyle is more advanced because you kind of need to watch out for the timer, for the flash when it expires. You need to understand how to kind of survive without cap resistances. So it's not really for newer players, but if newer players see this build and they're like, wow, I really must play this, you can still do it. Like if you are determined, you're gonna figure it out, but it may be a struggle trying this build and building this build. One more thing, I pretty much do Soul Eater build almost once a league. I just love Soul Eater builds because you keep ramping up souls, which gives you attack and cast speed, and you can get some insane proc rate or cast speed or attack speed or even movement speed. But this is using dual wands, so I cannot use like shield charge, I cannot use deep slam, and this is Trickster. I don't need calm sword boots. But I had to make it like be able to move fast, because I cannot really move around fast with movement abilities. Like Lightning Warp wouldn't work because I am getting skill effect duration. Now in the past it was actually easier to get more souls because it was easier to build around the self-coursing with temporal chain. You had more course effect. I believe you could get more flash duration because there was a unique jewel which gave increased flash duration, which is gone now. So it's much, I wouldn't say much harder, but it is noticeably harder to get long enough Soul Eater duration. Now, before you get Soul Eater, before you ramp up souls, the build is very weak. It doesn't really have much defenses. There are like different ways of doing this. You could make it like a proper build and then just add a bit of flash duration and then just use Soul Eater for like 20-30 second duration. Soul Eater, which in my opinion is not enough to have fun. You can also just build completely on based on Soul Eater, which is what this build is. Pretty much has no damage until you get souls. I am going with Vance for one reason, and that is projectile speed. Vance can roll projectile speed, and I imagine that the projectile speed would be more noticeable, but the reaction time of Winter Orb is not quick enough. I pretty much just run over enemies and then the Winter Orb just throws projectiles right on the enemies that are next to me. So it doesn't like really react fast enough when the enemy appears across the screen. If I were to redo this, I probably wouldn't go with the dual wands for the projectile speed and just go with the scepters. One of the scepters can have elemental overload, so you wouldn't need a crucible modifier on the wand. But to counter all the nerfs for the curse effect, there is a one node on the crucible: 15% increased effect of curses on you and 10% increased effect of your curses. So you're essentially getting 25% curse effect for your temporal chain self curse. And you want to self curse with temp chain to extend all the buffs, all the debuffs as well. The drawback of this modifier is that all the other curses that enemies apply to you or the map modifiers are going to be stronger as well. So this build also has to avoid a lot of map modifiers. Anything with permanent curse on you, you don't want that on the map modifier. You also do not want temporal chain map modifier because it's going to be weaker than your own. You do not want no leech, you won't be able to sustain energy shield because of Eldritch Battery. You probably don't want no regen, and you don't want too many extra damage modifiers because, like I said, this build is not tanky. It can tank a couple of hits, but it's not made for tanking, and if something hits you harder, you're just gonna get straight up one-shotted. That's why I have cast on Death Portal. Now the way I'm doing damage is I'm actually able to freeze enemies, a lot of enemies, and I'm actually surprised that I'm able to. I am using Heatshiver, but for that I need to freeze enemies. And I am able to freeze because of two other items: Expeditions, and allows all my damage to be able to freeze, including fire, which I'm getting from Heatshiver. And then Painseeker kind of raises that threshold or lowers the threshold requirement to be able to freeze enemies. So Painseeker, Expedition End, and Heatshiver are kind of like a full combo. Then I'm also using Rotblood Promise Ring to self-curse myself. Solstice Vigil I think is also a must because it works the same, similar to Temporal Chain. It extends the duration of all the buffs, actually all the effects, so by 20%. So that alone is massive, but it does require you to kill a unique or rare enemy. Then I added Death Rush because I want to go fast and gain adrenaline for 3 seconds on kill. That 3 seconds is also going to be extended because of Self-Curse Temp Chain. And then obviously Soulthirst, preferably corrupted with increased elemental resistances. And then on Vines you just want anything that scales well with non-crit cold skills. So +1 to cold, flat cold damage, projectile speed is a must. You can use essence to craft that, increased cold damage. Cast speed isn't really needed because when you're getting like 2000% increased cast speed, what is another like 20 feather cast speed? Like, it's nothing. And now the flask, the main flask is Bismuth Flask. You use it fast. You want a flask like this with double increased duration. The white text you get by using the enkindling orbs, and then you just roll increased duration and elemental resistances. So use this flask fast and then you slam all the other flasks. And your Soul Eater duration is going to be based on the fast flask that you use. So if you misclick and use the other flask with shorter duration and then the Bismuth Flask, then the Soul Eater is going to expire like sooner. So you want to use the longest lasting flask fast. The Soul Eater cannot be refreshed, well, sort of, but you have to let it expire essentially. And to have a bit more control when I want to recharge my souls, I am carrying a Val Breach, which is corrupted portal. So sometimes I just pop Val Breach, start killing monsters to recharge my flask, and then quickly use all of my flasks, build up souls, and then go for the boss kill. The other flask you want to move fast, so Quicksilver with movement speed and duration again. If you're dying, you cannot use flasks. So you cannot carry Life Flask, because if you use Life Flask, you clear out all the souls. And your Soul Eater is still going to be based on the fast flask that you used. You cannot really have healing flask. The main thing is Bismuth Flask and Quicksilver, and then the rest just figure out yourself, I guess. Now this is Trickster. Main reason is because of this. It can either be Trickster, Juggernaut, or using Calm's Root Boots to not be slowed down by the Self-Curse Temp Chain. So Trickster for the one step ahead. This one is for just move mapping and a bit more damage. And then the remaining doesn't matter, but the small nodes gave movement speed, so that's good. Now as you can see, the passive skill tree is focused around top right side of the passive skill tree, but I am using Impossible Escape to pick up these flask nodes. These give a lot of flask duration, and Impossible Escape for arrow dancing is pretty cheap. I am also using a very important thing is Watcher Sai for Vitality. I am using like low level Vitality. You can actually even squeeze in like skitterboards for extra shock or aspect of the spider for more damage, but I didn't bother with that. And I actually could use like higher level Vitality, but you have to use at least level 1 Vitality and get Watcher Sai that gives you life on hit. You also want to be immune to corrupted blood and preferably bleed, but I am carrying Steel Skin, which does remove bleeding. Depend on par, this one would not be enough to survive because even 5 corrupting blood stacks will last forever. Because remember, you are self-cursing yourself with Temp Chain, so it would last forever and it would eventually kill you if there are no enemies to hit. Also need to be immune to freeze, reduce effect of chill, like anti-stun lock. I took this one just to reduce the degens, because degens, you cannot really counter degens since you cannot use flash to heal yourself, and if you're degening and there are no enemies to hit, you're dead. I also did go here to pick up a bit more skill effect duration. I did not get the master, I did not feel like I need to. You can also get increased flask effect duration on normal jewels, up to 10%. This is tier 1 modifier. So you could technically also do jewel stacking. I'm not sure if that's better than using medium jewel, because medium jewel can give you like 8% per point. And you also want like special reserve, which does give, when you combine 2 of them, you get 4% life regen per second. On the large cluster jewel, the main thing is you want the Rhiannis lessons. The other 2 are not that important. I am getting exposure through the awaken cold penetration, so corrosive element is not really needed. You may be able to find something better actually. But this is also Eldritch Battery. I'm also taking the Leech Mastery here because you do need Spell Leech as energy shield, and also you want to kind of balance your maximum ES and the mana cost. So you know that Energy Leech is capped at 10% of energy shield per second. And 10% instant leech means essentially that I'm leeching 8.5 ES per hit. So I am leeching almost 6 ES per hit. And my mana cost is 8. 8 mana cost for Winter Orb. So I pretty much never run out of energy shield. If I'm hitting something, I will never run out of ES. Otherwise, you can run out of ES in less than a second if you build up a lot of souls. Without instant leech, it wouldn't really be sustainable against single target. I do have Vortex on left click, although I do have Chill from the Expedition's end, but Vortex is linked to Bone Chill and Unbound elements. The Bone Chill essentially, as I was told, has been fixed, and you can use like other skills to apply Bone Chill effect to allow other skills to do more cold damage against that target. The Anointment is also like mainly for utility, for quality of life. I don't need to run Blood Rage. Another important thing is this Elemental Mastery. I don't have any like curse or pretty much anything else that lowers enemy resistances. So this works really well, and I really love this mastery. Hits have 25% chance to treat enemies' monster elemental resistance values as inverted. So if monsters have, let's say, 50 LRS, you take this and you have 25% chance to turn it into minus 50. So once you take this, your DPS will go up quite a lot. Now this one is just experimental caster master. I wanted to see how this auto opening of chests works, and this works even against strong boxes, even against breach hands, and this actually could be dangerous if you're running and there's a strong box and you accidentally open it before you reach it, but you kind of run next to it thinking that you need to click it, and there's a like ice nova, boom, you're dead. So it can be dangerous, but it's pretty fun to experience it as well. Oh, on the weapon swap you want Sinvicta's metal axe just to get like 1 or 2 kills and then switch back, and then the Rampage will continue. I am using also a haste on Blessing, very convenient, and because this is self-coursing temp chain, it says it lasts 26 seconds, but once we include temporal chain self-course, it lasts a lot longer. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this build. Now the next video will probably be something to do with the Diablo 4. I'm not sure how long I will be enjoying Diablo 4. I'm pretty sure I will have enough fun for my money's worth, but I'm not sure how much fun is gonna be making builds. Is it just gonna be meta and nothing else? Is it gonna be something niche and unique like in PoE? I'll be sure to make some videos about Diablo 4, but the next video will probably gonna take a bit longer. So for now, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.